So a while ago I posted this TikTok birthday shirt tutorial, and a few of you requested that I show you how I made this design using Adobe Photoshop. So this is the TikTok birthday shirt design tutorial. You are going to need Photoshop for this tutorial, and if you don't already have it, you can download a free trial of Photoshop from the Adobe website, and I'll leave the link to that down below. So go ahead and open up Photoshop and click on New on the top left hand corner to create a new document. And on the new document panel, we're going to leave most things as they are, except for the measurement. We're going to change the units from pixels to inches, and we're going to change the size to 8.5 by 11, which is the size of your standard sheet of paper. And when you're working on something that's going to be printed, you always want to change the resolution from 72 to 300 dots per inch. Do this before you start working on your design. Once you've changed those settings, go ahead and click on Create, and we're ready to start the project. I don't have the original design saved on this computer. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't save it, so I'm going to do my best to replicate it. So bear with me. I'm just going to drag an image of the design to my Photoshop document just so I can have it to kind of refer back to. And keep in mind that some of the fonts may be different because I don't remember exactly what fonts I used in the original design. Okay, so first things first, open up your browser and look for an image of the TikTok logo in PNG format, which basically means we want it to have a transparent background. And once you find the image you want to use, go ahead and save it to your computer. Then open up the folder where it's saved and click and drag the image into your Photoshop document. And go ahead and hit Enter on your keyboard. If you want to resize your image, you can hit Ctrl-T on your keyboard to bring up the bounding box again, and drag the corners inward and outward to make your image larger or smaller. And again, when you're done resizing, just hit Enter. And I dragged in another still shot or screenshot of the original design because I wanted to kind of show you guys. I don't know how well you can see it, but let me zoom in. The original design does have glitter elements in it. So I replaced the blue and the pink in the logo with glitter blue and glitter pink. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how I did that. I used pink and blue glitter digital paper on the design, and you can find glitter digital paper on Etsy or Creative Market, maybe even on Google, although I typically either make my own digital paper or I purchase it off other graphic designers because I do like the elements that I use in my designs to be high resolution and high quality. And if you want the exact pink and blue digital paper that I used for this design, it's available for instant download from my online store, and I'll leave the link for that down below. Once you've downloaded and saved the digital paper to your computer, go ahead and drag it into the Photoshop document. We're going to start with the pink paper, resize it, let's make it smaller. And then we're going to go down here to the layers panel on the right hand corner, the bottom right hand corner. These are all the layers that you're working with. And we want to find the layer with the TikTok logo in it and click and drag the layer to the very top because we want it to be visible and we want it to be on top of the glitter paper. We need to rasterize the layer so we can make edits and changes to it. So go ahead and right click the TikTok logo layer and left click rasterize layer. Now we have to select the part of the logo that we want to change to make glittery. And to do that, go to the Tools panel on the left hand of your Photoshop document. We're going to click here on the Magic Wand tool. And now that we have the Magic Wand tool selected, we can click on the pink area of the TikTok logo that we want to make glittery. We're going to start by clicking on this side. Once you make your first click, go ahead and hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and continue to click and select all the pink area in the logo. When you're done selecting all the pink in the logo, go back down here to the Layers panel, right-click the layer with the glitter paper in it, and select Rasterize Layer. Then you're going to click and drag the glitter paper layer on top of the TikTok logo layer. So you can see that our selection from our TikTok logo is still visible even though the glitter paper is on top. And since we have the glitter paper selected or highlighted on our layers panel right now, if we were to hit the delete button, it would erase whatever is selected. It would erase it on the glitter paper. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but we want to delete everything on the glitter paper except what's selected. So in order to do that, we need to invert our selection. So go ahead and hit Control-Shift-I on a PC, or I think on a Mac it's Shift-Command-I to invert your selection. And once you do that, you'll see that what is selected will change. And now you can go ahead and hit the delete key on your keyboard, and that will leave the pink glitter only on the selections that we made earlier on the logo, and everything else will be deleted. Now hit Control-D on your keyboard to deselect your selection. And to finish this part off, go back to the Layers panel, and you're going to select the glitter layer on the very top. You're going to right click and click on Merge Down. That way the glitter and the TikTok logo will be merged together, and so now the glitter is part of the logo. And for the blue glitter, we're going to repeat the same exact process except with the blue glitter digital paper. So drag it into the Photoshop document and you select the blue part of the logo, place the glitter paper on top, invert the selection and delete just like we did for the pink glitter. And then don't forget to merge the layers together once you've done that. But do stay tuned for the rest of the video because we're going to use a different process when we're adding glitter to the number and to the words in the design. If there's one thing I've learned over the years as a graphic designer is that there's 1,000,001 ways of doing the same thing using Photoshop, and some ways are easier and some ways are just different. So really it's about just finding the techniques that work for you in that given moment, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Now that we're done glitterizing the TikTok logo, we can move it to the side. And to move any element in your Photoshop document, you just have to make sure that the layer that you're trying to move is selected in the Layers panel. Then go back to your toolbar on the left-hand corner and click here on the Move tool. Then click and drag your clip art or element to wherever you want to move it. Now we're going to make the little black rectangles with the text inside of them like you see on the t-shirt design here. Click on the rectangle tool on your toolbar and left click and drag anywhere on your Photoshop document to create a rectangle. I'm just going to make it a little bigger. This looks about right. And you can always resize the rectangle later if you want to make it bigger or smaller. Then we're going to go back to the toolbar and click on the text tool so we can type in our text. With the text tool selected, click anywhere on your Photoshop document and type in your text. And to move your text around, click on the Move tool again and click and drag your text around the document. You'll notice that I do a lot of shifting and clicking between different tools. So from the Move tool to the Text tool to the Shape tool, back to the Move tool, etc. Now I'm going to go ahead and change the font on this text. So let's go back and click on the Text tool once again and double click our text to highlight it and just look through these fonts here. I have a bunch of fonts, and my favorite website to download them from is dafont.com, dafont.com. They have a variety of different styles of fonts to choose from. Right now I'm going to be using KG blank space solid. That's the name of this font. And I'm just going to move the text over a bit, then click back on the Text tool and double click the text again. And I'm going to double click on the color swatch on here so I can change the color. It doesn't really matter what color you change it to as long as it's not black. This is just temporary so that you can see the text when you're typing it in on top of the black rectangle. But in the end, it's going to be that glitter blue and glitter pink. Now that the text is blue, click on the Move tool again and drag the text on top of the black rectangle. Then we're going to drag the glitter paper back into the Photoshop document, but we're not going to do any selecting and inverting this time. We're going to do things a little bit differently to make the text glittery. Resize the glitter paper and hit enter once you're done resizing. Place it directly on top of the text and make sure it's above the text in your layers panel as well. Then you're going to right click the glitter paper layer and select Create Clipping Mask. And there you have your glitter text. And with the glitter paper layer still selected, you can hit Control T on your keyboard to make the actual glitter paper smaller, and this makes the glitter look finer and just nicer in my opinion. It's a little difficult to see, so let me zoom in so you can see it better. Now we want to make another black rectangle the same size as this one, and you can either do that by going back to the rectangle tool and creating a new rectangle, or you can find the rectangle that we already created in the layers panel, then right click the layer and select Duplicate Layer. This will create a rectangle the exact shape and size as the first one. Once you've duplicated the layer, click on the Move tool and click on the rectangle to move it. And we're going to type in the word birthday and make the text glittery the same way that we did with the first text, except this time it's going to be the pink glitter. And we're going to use the exact same process that we did the first time. Sorry if this sounds very repetitive or if I'm going too slow. This video is very much geared toward Photoshop beginners so that they can do things step by step. And I know that when I was starting out, I found the process to be kind of daunting, and I wanted things explained to me like I was 5. So that's what I'm doing here. Moving very slowly so that hopefully if you're a beginner you can get the hang of it. And if you guys have any questions or if anything isn't clear, let me know down below and I'll do my best to explain it or clarify. So now we want to be able to move the text and the rectangle together as one unit, and there's a couple of ways that you can do that. You can rasterize the rectangle and rasterize the text layer and merge them like we've done in the past. Or you can select the text layer, hold down Shift and select the rectangle layer, and then right click and select Link Layers. So this will link the layers. It won't merge them, but they'll be linked so they're going to move together as one unit. And once the layers are merged or linked, go ahead and click on the rectangle and hit Ctrl T on your keyboard to transform and bring up the bounding box around the rectangle. Then left click and hold while you move the mouse around. And this allows you to kind of slant the rectangle and make it a little bit more playful. Now for the number 6, I will be using the font Franklin Gothic Heavy, and I'm going to show you yet another way of adding glitter to your text or elements that we haven't used in the past. And we're going to do this by creating or defining a pattern, and we're going to use that pattern as a stroke or outline for our text. So let's go back to the text tool, type in the number 6 and resize the number and choose your font. Then go down here to the FX option in the Layers panel and click on it and select Stroke. This will bring up the layer style options, and go down here to Color Overlay, and basically this will just change the color of the number, and we're going to make the number black. Then we're going to select the option at the very bottom to add a drop shadow, and click on the color option to change the drop shadow color to blue. If you want to sample a color on your document, for example, I want it to be the exact shade of blue as some of my letters or the blue on my logo, just open up the color options and click on that part of the design to sample its color. We're done with the layer styles for now, so go ahead and click OK to save your changes. Now I'm going to show you how to define a pattern so that we can make the outline on the number 6 pink glitter. Find the glitter paper on your computer again, right click it, and select Open with Photoshop. We want it to be on its own document this time. Then go up here to Image and select Image Size. This is going to be a pattern, so we want it to be small. We're going to change the size to 2 by 2 inches. Then go back up here, click on Edit, and select Define Pattern. Once you're done naming your pattern, go ahead and click OK. Let's go back to our original document that we were working on. Go back down here to the FX option and click on Stroke again. We're going to change the fill type from color to pattern. And here we can see that the pattern we just created is already saved on here. And you can change the size of the stroke here, make it smaller or larger, and you can even change the size of the glitter pattern. And I think if we move the scale up a bit, I think that actually looks better. That looks good to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and click OK to save my changes. I'm gonna go back to the text tool to type in the name, which I think is the last thing that's missing on the design. But if you're gonna be using iron-on paper to press this onto a t-shirt, you do need to flip or mirror this image before you print. And I'm gonna show you how to do that in just a second. Let me just add the finishing touches to this design. You can always resize the logo and the number and the text by clicking on Ctrl T to transform and bringing up the bounding box and dragging the corners in and out like I showed you guys previously. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for a couple of things on here. Before you can flip or mirror the entire design, you have to either flatten the image or merge all the layers together. But once you do this, you can't edit or move any individual layers by themselves. So if you wanted to come back and change the number or the name, etc., you can't do that once you merge or flatten the image. So I suggest that you save this Photoshop file as it is right now if you're planning on using it in the future, so that you have a copy of the original design saved on your computer. So when you're ready to flip your design, just go over to the layers panel and right click on one of the layers and select flatten image. Then double click on the little lock icon here to unlock the layer, and go up here to edit and select transform, then flip horizontal. Then go up to file and print, and for transfer paper for light fabrics I typically use my HP Envy 5660 inkjet printer. But if you're interested in the details of printing and pressing this design onto a shirt, you can see all that in detail in the video I posted previously, and I will leave the link to that on this video and down below. That's it for this design tutorial. I hope you found this helpful, and let me know down below if you have any questions or comments. Like and subscribe for more videos.